So I have a viewpoint about fitness and nutrition that is a bit different from others. It's not a crazy hot take. It's just how I framework my nutrition and fitness based off my experience that I've had through coaching my online clients, my in-person clients, teaching group fitness, working in cardiac rehab. This is kind of how I think about fitness and how I've been able to kind of come up with a framework that makes sense on my experience with fitness and nutrition. So, unlike other skills and maybe things you do, there is not a standard starting point for fitness. There isn't. There isn't a point where you start at A and you end up at Z, and at Z, you're a master and you're done. It doesn't really work that way. I think a lot of people struggle when they view it that way because they think, okay, in X amount of time, I'm going to be at this level and I'm going to be a master. I'm sorry to tell you that's not true. It does not work that way. And we can't get stuck on just progressing that way, and thinking about it that way can lead to other issues, which we're not going to get into today. But that's really why I kind of came up with this framework and how I have been thinking about it recently. And like most things, that could change in the future. But right now, this is how I think about it. And I think this is one of the better ways that I've seen personally and how I've heard other people speak about it as well. So where you start and end with fitness is very personal. Where I start and end and where you start and end and flow in between is very up to the individual. It's probably not going to be the same place. Our journeys are going to be vastly different than each other. And that is for a whole host of factors. There are so many factors that go into nutrition and fitness, including genetics, your previous experience, your medical history, your goals. All of that is affected and affects where your fitness and nutrition leads you. And that can all change, and different seasons of your life, different aspects of your life will change where you're at. And when you're coming up with your fitness plan, your fitness goals, you need to take into account those factors, because that's going to help you lead you to the right spot. It's my belief that there are distinct levels of fitness. Not of fitness. There are levels of fitness where you could be on a scale of how fit you are, but that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about to fitness. There are degrees in which these levels are going to vary in intensity, difficulty, results with each of these levels. So, and I'll break down every single level here in a little bit and go into great detail about what do I include in each, what is the main purpose maybe of this level, or what would someone in this level be doing, and what are their goals. To break this down is, just because you fall at level, say 4, doesn't make you quote unquote better than level 1. Then they don't really work like that. It's more of a flow state in which you will fluctuate between all 4 different levels. So as I tell everyone in fitness, you gotta check your ego at the door. This isn't a competition. I know a lot of us can be really competitive, and competition can motivate us in a way, but this is not about ego. 4 is not better than 1. 3 is not worse than 2. So you gotta know, just because you're at a certain level does not mean that you are staying at that level, and it does not make you better than someone else doing something else. Because like we just said, which level you take or you're at or you try to go to is very dependent on you. It depends on you. You can take it to level 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can be at 3, you can move to 1. Your fitness is going to factor with so many different things, and it's going to change because life changes. You are not the same person as you are at 20, at 30, at 35, 40, 60, 80. You're a very different person at all those stages of your life, depending on circumstance, depending on, your job, your life, different factors that you can't even predict, that we can't even speak of because they haven't even happened yet. But that's going to change. So that's where it's not, I don't want you to think of these as stepping stones. That is not what they are. So, what are my 4 different levels of fitness? To fitness. There are 4 of them, and they include different exercises and activities within each. So let's get right into it. The fun stuff. Level 1. Okay. This is going to include walking, zone 1 cardio, stretching, tai chi, resistance bands. Within level 1, these are going to be inherently lower intensity exercise. They have a very low risk of injury. They are the minimum form of exercise that can be completed at any level and at any condition. So anybody can do. Level 1 is most of the entry point and maintaining for a lot of people, and depending on certain stages of your life, like say as you get a little bit older, your ability to do certain things based off health condition, based off of medical history, this might be a level you live at till the end of your time. Why I think this is probably one of the most important levels is because initially doing anything, quite literally anything, is going to be infinitely better than doing nothing. 1 is infinitely larger than 0. It is way larger. So when you think about fitness as I can either be doing nothing or I can be doing level 1, that is going to be easily the point where you see the most health benefits. I'm not talking about like the best health benefits. It might not be the best, but you're going to see the most drastic change within that. So to give a prime example, one I talk about all the time, steps. If you are able to increase your steps by 1 to 2,000 extra steps per day, that is going to reduce your all-cause mortality. So your risk of dying from any cause is going to go down because you're taking those extra steps each and every day. So do not discount the fact that you are at this level, that you are taking control of your health by doing some form of exercise. That can help you strengthen, that can help you get your health in check metabolically, cardiovascularly, which is going to instinctively help you live longer. So this level is where I spend a lot of my personal time helping teach my patients, is right here at this level. And if you're not if right now you are doing nothing but this level, you are going to be infinitely better version of yourself than the person that is doing nothing. If you're doing nothing, this is the minimum you should be doing each and every day, each and every week, focusing on something within this level to incorporate, because you are going to see the effects here. Now, level 2. This is where most of my clients are going to live, coming to me. Basic strength training, zone 2 cardio, so 60 to 70% of your max heart rate right here, and mobility. This is more moderate intensity exercise. Within this level, you're going to need more body awareness. There's going to be a higher level of form requirement needed to do these things correctly to avoid injury. Where in level 1, there's less inherent risk there because the intensity is lower. And now we're taking it up just a little bit of a notch. And this is great because now in this level, you can get way more specific with your goals. We can have great fat loss, muscle gain, general health, mobility and flexibility, injury management at this level. Because that intensity is a little bit higher, we can be more specific with that goal. You can have goals at level 1, but level 2 is really where you take that up a notch, and you can expect a little bit more results out of that. And in my eyes, this is where most people who work out live. They live at this level. They do some strength training. They get their cardio in, maybe their steps. This is where, again, you can just make huge leaps and bounds towards your goals at this level. It is a great place to live. And where you're going to maintain most of your fitness is at this level. And as you'll see in level 3 and level 4, this might be where we regress over time. We might live in level 3 or level 4 for a little bit and come back to level 2. And then in periods, we might move back up and move back down. But this is, again, general population working out. This is it. This is where you should strive to be if you want to improve your health in almost every aspect, to reduce your risk of most disease. This is where you should want to live. To have even the effects of aging, this is where you got to be. It's going to help quite literally. Like we can go on with the list for the next hour about the benefits of strength training, of doing some zone 2 cardio, and making sure you're maintaining the correct body weight for your body, maintaining that muscle, keeping, stored fat, to an appropriate level. We can be here all night about that, all day. But that's not what we're doing right now. So this is where your mind should be. How can I get a few strength training workouts in per week while doing my steps, my cardio, incorporating level 1 into level 2? And that is where you're going to see drastic results. Now moving on. Level 3. This level is going to include HIIT training, so high intensity interval training, group fitness, advanced strength training techniques, a running or jogging program. These exercises and programs are going to involve more moderate to high intensity work. These are very goal specific. They are not necessary. You do not need to do any of the things I just talked about for general health, unless you enjoy the activity. That would be my caveat. If you enjoy doing something in this level because it brings you happiness and joy out of it, like I love to run. Running is one of my favorite activities to do. It exhilarates me. I love running races. I love training for it. I love trying to get my time a little bit down. But it's not because it's going to make me infinitely better inside. Yes, cardio is great, but it's not going to, I don't need to run at the intensity I enjoy running at in order to see those benefits. So just keep that in mind. If you do enjoy it, amazing. Keep doing it. But just know it's not necessary. The one caveat to that is that with these forms of exercise, they need to be balanced out. They by themselves, we don't just do HIIT. You don't just do group fitness. You don't just have these advanced techniques or just run. I don't just run. They need to be balanced out. They're going to require you to do some strength training, some stretching, mobility, have your nutrition and rest a little bit more in check because of that intensity increase. There needs to be a little bit more strategy in your programming with these included. And the thing is to keep in mind with that, they come higher risk of acute injury, but also chronic injury, especially if you do not have proper form or guidance with that. So if you don't have the proper program or the proper progression with some of these forms of exercise, you are increasing your likelihood of getting an injury. Doesn't mean you will, but there is an increased likelihood. Again, I'll use me personally as an example. I love to run. It doesn't mean that I avoid injury. 2 years ago, have plantar fasciitis, still trying to deal with it and figure out during my running, what are the muscles that I need to be working in order to avoid that overuse injury. It happens. And it doesn't, no matter the experience that you have, that's still going to happen. Every runner will tell you that they probably dealt with injury or are dealing with an injury right now. But that comes with everything. So just keep that in mind. Now, with the proper form or guidance, that is why I put group fitness into this category and not the second one, is because it is very popular, and for good reason. It is super amount of fun, physically, mentally challenging, and you get a damn good workout from it. But you have to keep in mind that not all instructors and formats should be treated as equals. Not every type of group fitness is appropriate for your goal, nor is it appropriate for your experience. It might be too advanced or not advanced enough or challenging enough. So you have to keep in mind that you still need to keep in the back of your mind that this is a personal experience. That yes, it is group fitness, but how is it appropriate to your goal? And it might just be that it enjoys you and gets your heart rate up and it's challenging, but then you have to make sure that it's not injuring yourself and affecting that goal in a negative way. And this all comes from my own personal experience. I've taught group fitness for over 5 years now. I've seen the best. I've seen the worst. I've tried different formats, both coaching and as a client. And my best advice is to always, with any form of fitness, proceed with caution. Listen to your body. And especially in this case, do not be afraid to ask for options, especially if something is not right for your body. If you are doing something, if something's happening in that class, in that format that is not appropriate for you, you should ask the instructor for an option. If that's not available at that time, again, don't do it and don't feel pressured to do it, because fitness is all about us. Getting ourselves to be the best version of us, to help you become stronger, to feel better, to hit your goal. So why are we hurting ourselves? So just keep that in the back of your mind. Proceed with caution. You can still have fun, still do it, but just keep our mind open for there. And then level number 4. We made it to the last level. This is more sport-specific training and max lift. These are very, very, very specific to the goals and activities in which you participate in. They are usually more additional to your program to help you get stronger or prevent injury at your specific sport. So a few things that come to mind here: golf, tennis, running, maybe pickleball. There might be some specific things that you want to include in your program that is specific to you because of the activities that you do. So again, I'll go back to my example, running. I do specific types of exercises, specific types of movements that are going to help me specifically while I run. Let's say during my strength training, I might do some more single-legged things, more split stance things, some more plyometrics than maybe say a standard person, because I do run. And so because I want to get better at that activity, I include it in my strength training that I need to do to keep my muscle and keep myself stronger, to make myself a better runner, but also that sport-specific training that's going to help me prevent the injuries and be a better runner, which is my goal. And that might be the same thing by me. A lot of people golf. There are plenty of exercises that can help you become a better golfer. Plenty of mobility that might help combat some injuries that you could get while golfing, while playing tennis, running, etc. So, but they're not necessary. You don't need to do it. There are plenty of people that don't do it. But it's just at this level, that's kind of where your head's at. Okay, I'm trying to get better at this. I want to include some of this. So level 4 is kind of like the sprinkle on top. Now, the second part of that was max lifts. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, you can disagree with it, but I personally think 1 to 5 rep max lifts are completely unnecessary, except for specific groups of people, like some very serious lifters or power lifters. I don't believe that they're necessary in order to create a good strength program. For most people, I think you can get by with other forms of rating to figure out what's an appropriate weight and where you feel, and you can learn that pretty quickly, at least in my experience with my clients, without having to do a max lift, which could put you in a position to increase injury, which, if you haven't already noticed, is one of the big factors in making this list. Injury is so important to understand and know that it is possible to happen. So how do you minimize the risk while knowing, also being able to risk for the reward? And there are some activities like max lifts that have little reward, high risk. It is not necessary for the standard person. It's a ego check. You don't need it. You want to do it? Amazing. If it makes sense, go for it. But otherwise, it's not needed. You don't need to do it. Unless you're trying, if your goal is to lift 400 deadlift, amazing. That's your goal. It's specific. Train for it and go for it. But if that's not your goal, it's totally unnecessary. If you're just trying to lose 15 pounds of body fat, done. You don't need to do this. It's totally unnecessary. So again, that's my opinion on that. So the thing to remember is that this is not a strict here and you never leave. This isn't like you're on level 4 and you never moved back to level 1. And you never, once you start at 1, you never move to 3. It is not, it's a flow. It's a spectrum. You move along the spectrum across your seasons of your life, through your progression, through your goals. You might down the line decide, I want to be a runner. And you might start a running program. Amazing. And then after that, you're like, I'm done. I ran my marathon. I'm just, going to do a little bit of zone 2. Maybe I'm just going to go for walks. I'm going to add that weight vest. That sounds like fun. I'm going to get my cardio that way. Amazing. So what? You went from level 3 to level 2. So, all good. Maybe I sprinkle level 4 in there. Done. Fitness is, again, it sounds like a broken record, but fitness is about you and what makes your body feel the best. That's what matters. With fitness, you are trying to become the best version of yourself. Your fitness is supposed to elevate all other aspects of your life, not just the fitness itself. What people forget is that fitness is the entryway to level up every other aspect of your life. It is not the only aspect. When you get in control of your fitness and your health, and you have that, it is a freeing feeling. It helps you open up so many different things that you never thought were possible because you have not necessarily control, because we don't really always have control of our health, but we are taking care of it. We are helping ourselves feel better. We are taking the action towards it. And that is absolutely freeing mentally and also physically. So just keep that in mind. This fitness is about you. You, not me, not your friends, not your family. It's about you. It might bleed into those other areas, and it will. It'll radiate. It'll radiate from you. People will see that. They'll know you're taking that action, and that'll bleed into a whole other aspects of your life. But at the core, it's about taking care of yourself. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I would love to hear from you about which level you're at right now and what you're currently looking to get out of your fitness. What are you working towards? What are you doing to get there? I'd love to hear a little bit about it. If you're feeling a little bit stuck with your fitness, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly. My Instagram @MaxUCoaching and my email are in the show notes. Send me a message. I answer every single one. No question off limits. Message me. Please, I'm here to help you achieve your fitness goals. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. So let's do it. Let's continue to become our maximal selves. Till next time. Peace.